So even though you're climbing up a trail and it's steep and there's rocks, there's roots, and it's dim and dark, just push on. You'll get to the top and you'll see the light. All right, we are in Beaver Creek Valley State Park, located in wonderful Caledonia, Minnesota. This is our planned hike. Camping at site 37 tonight. We pop on the West Rim Trail. We're not going to take a left when we get to the top though. We're going to take a right. We're going to go this way. Maybe come back around if we don't run out of daylight and head back where we started here. Come from this direction. 2 years ago I went the other way. That's pretty awesome. So if all goes well and we don't run out of daylight, we're going to end off at Hole in Rock Trail and exit and come back down this road and make our camp. This is kind of an arduous hike up to the top of the rim here. Recently I've been doing hikes with just a chest rig, but since Savannah Portage State Park I decided to try to upgrade it to an assault pack so I can hold a little more gear. It's still not too heavy. It's getting a little chillier out too, so got some layers, rain over, a little bit of water, some food, some nuts, protein smoothie, first aid, poncho, There's no service here, but we are in Caledonia. And it's the upper 50 degrees Fahrenheit. It's supposed to drop into the 40s tonight. And I'm at about 6.5 miles for the day. The walking that I did so far today. So 6.5 miles is my starting point for my health tracker. see how many miles we'll do by the time we're done. You might hear the water whooshing back and forth in my pack. So that's what that sound is. If you hear it. Okay. Right here. We're gonna head this way. That's a great trail too, by the way. I would recommend it. And we should be heading back. We're gonna weave our way back towards the campground. The campground is kind of like a line. It's not really a circle in a certain area. It's kind of a line through the end of the park. Kind of like a serpent. I believe this is private property over here. Hope I didn't give that turkey a heart attack. Fall colors are starting. We can't dawdle too much because we only have 2 hours till the sun sets. So this is an ambitious hike based on how much light we have left. But I do have a headlamp also in the pack. But the Hole in Rock Trail specifically, I know that one. It's not one you want to be in when it's dark. But everything I'm walking right now I've never been on before. That's the plan, the whole hike essentially, and end it in Hole in Rock Trail in an area where I ended it before but coming from the opposite direction. So kind of connecting the dots from 2023 hike, 2025 hike. That was almost the same week of the year. That was late August, the last week of August. I think it was the 28th or the 29th of August. So we're weaving our way back to the campground that we just kind of came from. You know, there's a campsite right here, and I think this is the one I actually want to weasel in a quick scout on. Nobody's there, and but you can see how close it is from there to this trail. And this is essentially late summer, so this is what it would look like with everything grown in, so it's not really covering anything. We're definitely gonna go check that out real quick. Our trail will resume over there after we finish our detour. This is the main road for the campground, all the way to the head, and then it circles around and you come right back. This is one of my favorite layouts for a campground. It's just really interesting. It's a little narrow, but it's just interesting. Here's this campsite here. This one interested me when I first scouted here in 2023. I believe that was early June of 2023. Yeah, it's 27 right here. That's where we were just over there. You're right by the main road, but every site here is by the main road, except for the Cardin sites, all the way in the back. I'm gonna try to scout those one day when no one's here. Yeah, so site W27. I think a W stands for walk-in site. So you can't really pull your vehicle directly into the site. You can see a parking area right there. I still consider this a regular site. It's not a walk-in site, based on my experience. Though the nomenclature isn't perfect everywhere you go. Yeah, this is an awesome site. So I'm definitely adding this one to the docket. I like being further back though, just because of the creepy nature of the park, and there are probably more coyotes over there. But this is a really sweet spot. Great spot for a tent. People might pull their vehicle in here, but you're really not supposed to. Park right here. And this is the first of 3 water crossings. The cement block water crossing, kind of like a Carly cement block on the trails that they have over there. I really love these. They're really cool. All right, so that's a scout of walk-in site 27 at Beaver Creek Valley State Park in Caledonia, Minnesota, the southeast corner of the state. It's a good one. All right, so resuming our hike. This is where we came out right here. Just a really small piece of the West Rim Trail. Yeah, right there. Okay. So now we're going to pop over here to the Big Spring Trail. I always love it when we touch on multiple trails, even though we might not do the whole part of the entire trails. It's kind of fun to scatter around and hop on the different trails. This park reminds me a little bit of Carly State Park over by the picnic area, and that park is pretty close to this park, and Whitewater State Park as well. There's something about this park. This is one of my favorite state parks. I might risk setting up a body cam down by the creek tonight, by where I'm camping at. And I'm using the Avenza Maps app like I always do. Even though there's no signal here, it still shows my location within the map. Usually that's pretty reliable. So here's where we're gonna, I believe, turn off. Yeah, this is just a touch of this trail. Well, the Big Spring Trail continues this way, but we're gonna leave that a mystery. We're gonna cut through this campsite that's vacant. We're looking for the steep rock trail entry point. A little look at the campground here. I have a personal scout of this campground. that I'm not publishing, at least not this year. I want to do one on foot though one day that I will publish. We'll see. All right, here we go. So this will probably start off similar to how we initially started the hike on the entry to the West Rim Trail. And if there's a reasonable moment we stop for a 5-minute break, I'll have you take a look at the gear I got, at least the chest rig and the packs. It's pretty gray out, so if it doesn't rain, it might still get dark a little earlier than normal. Oh yeah, it'll bounce. It's nice that it's really not hot here at all. It's just nice and crisp. No bugs. We probably won't see any bugs even later tonight. It'll just be too cold. You know, some people when they're hiking, they'll complain about the stairs, but I assure you it's nothing to complain about, especially if you're wearing a 65-pound ruck, which I'm not right now, but there's a couple times that, like at Frontenac State Park, one of my legs gave out going up a step. I don't have the strongest legs though. They don't look like Chun-Li from Street Fighter. So I put this trail in a higher difficulty scale, or higher on the scale. Kind of tell why hiking in the dark is not advisable here. It is pretty dim out. It was partly cloudy and sunny when I arrived. Yeah, so we're climbing up. Let's get a little close to the edge here. There's some parts like this on the other side and Hole and Rock Trail. It's a little nerve-wracking, but you can't just stare down the whole time. You got to focus ahead. And okay. I really don't even want to, well, maybe a little. Oh, isn't that nice? Incredibly steep. Sometimes God's a good guy. But if he was never bad, we'd probably never know good. Everything would be no good. So even though you're climbing up a trail and it's steep and there's rocks, there's roots, and it's dim and dark, just push on. You'll get to the top and you'll see the light. And I gotta keep moving because that sunlight ain't gonna last. But I still want to try to savor some moments. I definitely would not recommend this trail for anyone with children. I'd say under the age of 12, just to be safe. Chipmunk. Pretty neat. You know, Caledonia is right near Houston, Minnesota, and Rushford, Minnesota. And both of those cities or towns have like big letters on a rolling hill like that. It's kind of like the Hollywood sign. It's like a hill like that, and they both have, the Rushford has one and Houston has one. It's pretty cool. I don't know who copied who. On this trail, these little, like the path we just went on and the one before it, they veer off. You got to be really careful because there's edges and you don't know when it's gonna fall. Oh, this thing pricked me right here. That's what I felt on my leg. This looks different though than what I've seen, so I'm gonna take a look at this. I just got dicots for the class. Oh, could not identify that. We gotta keep going. Oh wow, they do have a bench up here, so I'm kind of shocked that they put a bench up here. I'm kind of shocked they'd risk that. Okay. All right, we're getting there. So once we reach the intersection, about a quarter mile ahead, we're gonna take a left. Then we're gonna hike all the way around towards the end of the park and then come right back to this intersection and then go the other direction and loop back to where we started on another path, another trail. To be on the other side of the campground, or the other side of Beaver Creek. And there are a couple, I think there's 2 or 3 detours on the trail that we're gonna encounter after we take a left up here that I didn't really plan for, but they're just kind of, I don't know, 0.10 mile detour to check out an outlook, a view or something like that. So we might just do that. When I camped here in 2023, around midnight, it was about almost a full moon, I think, and tonight will be the same. But I heard the craziest coyotes I've heard, except for my very first camp trip at Afton. I've never heard coyotes that crazy before, and it was probably because it was my first camp trip. But here, they were pretty wild. I got a recording of that too. Yeah, so I was in the tent and I heard them and I just recorded it. Pretty awesome. I hope that happens tonight. So this isn't the part I was talking about where we turn left. We're still on the trail here. Looks like it's meandering a little. Okay, yeah. It's a little switchbacky here. I've encountered several switchbacky trails this year. One at Lake Vermilion, Sudan Underground Mine State Park, which you're supposed to say that with a mouthful of Pringles. And then also at Interstate State Park. They had some switchbacky action going there too. I think that was on the Sandstone Trail. I would highly recommend that one, but it's not the easiest, and there is stairs. But if you watch my hike for the Interstate State Park, I'll show you what route to take. So you only really go down the stairs on the Sandstone Trail, which is kind of magical because there's a lot of them. Right, more switchbacky. Oh, some root steps going. I'm a big fan of root steps and rock steps. And this, some of these trails, they do cut through private property, so you got to be cognizant of that. All right, so we should be intersecting here. We might have passed it. The GPS might not be too accurate. I'm thinking it's this road right here. It's a path. It looks like a road though. It's paved. Well, maybe it's supposed to be. You don't always encounter what you might be expecting. Like a trail like this. It might not be a trail like this. Real careful here. Okay. Alright, that's a good one. Break on through to the other side. There's the picnic area, it looks like. Okay. Okay. All right, so here's where we go left, but once we finish this entire thing, which might not be practical, we're gonna come back this way and go that way and head on over to the other bluff, which we might run out of daylight. It's veering me in this direction. This little blue dot is hard for you to see, but it's like a compass pointing where I'm facing. And there is a switchback trail over here, which is one of the detours I called out a little bit ago. We're not going to do that yet. We're going to table that because I want to see how far we can get on what we planned. But there's a plateau rock trail further up, and I really want to see that. Oh, it's a restroom. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a break here real quick. Oh, because I drank a lot of coffee. So we're gonna do some end user testing. Ooh. So there ain't no daddy long legs in it. Wow, I ain't seen one of these since the dome. Those were metal though. All right, not bad at all. I haven't seen one of these yet at state parks. It's a nice structure. I like the nice paint. Smells decent in here. The lights go on automatically. They have sanitizer in there, but I'm kind of a pack in, pack out type of guy, even with sanitizer. All right. I wonder what this is. Looks like a picnic area. It's not the official picnic area. Oh, cool. I forget what they call these, but this is that, whatever they call these. And this is really nice. Wow. This is super cool, man. Wood? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Wow. I don't even use these things, but this is really awesome. Wow. I think it's a clubhouse or something like that. Oh, this is great. All right. There it is. Beaver Creek Trail. It's kind of like the part in a movie when they, in one of the lines or in the dialogue, one of the actors says the name of the movie. This is like that. It's a hiking club trail, guys. So if you can guess the password, give it a go. This we might take a look at on our way back. Honestly, I don't think we're gonna be able to hike the entire hike here that we planned. Oh wow, it's cool. I love these little bridges. It's really good smells out here. Some kind of nature smells. Ooh. Hey. It's kind of like a mixture of clean water and clean air and plants. I guess, as expected. Okay, keep straight. There's gonna be an intersection here that we're gonna, you can go left or right and it doesn't matter because it'll still go to the same destination, but we're gonna take a right on our way there and then we're gonna stay right on our way back so we get to hit both sides. You guys hear that? think that might have been a catbird. All right, here we are. We go this way, and we're gonna detour this. Let's do it. I can already tell that this Beaver Creek trail it's relatively easy. It's very practical to access. This is probably going to be the most recommended trail. I would guess. I'll guess that right now, actually. I like how it looks like you're gonna hit water, and then just to the edge on the side there's a little bridge for you. Yeah, it's 6:30, so there's no way we're gonna be able to tackle the entire hike that I had planned due to lack of daylight. So that'll leave something on the table for me to come back to here. Just super awesome. I might do site 27 in the future. We'll see. I probably will one day if I'm allowed to in life. There's some other sites I might want to try though, but that, I don't know, that one might be next. That would be my 4th camp trip here. Pretty sure I'm doing site 37 tonight. Yeah, 37. So I'm really excited to do that one. I had a quick look at it before I headed out. You could park the vehicle right along the side of the road. There's enough space so that you're not too close to the road to worry about potentially sideswiped. There's still a possibility, but I prefer to pull directly into a campsite if I could, but I guess that's why technically it's a walk-in site. So as the year gets towards the end, days get shorter and darker quicker. I'm probably going to be weaning out the hikes. Probably for sure October up until maybe May. I'm just focusing on probably scouts because there's just not enough daylight. And the snow too, sometimes The snow makes it a challenge in the time of year because they'll groom trails and you can't walk on them, otherwise you're breaking the law. This is some of the best weather I've encountered for hiking in a long, well, this year in a long while. It's just perfect weather for hiking. It's nice and cool. If you stop moving though, you get chilly. And because I'm sweating, of course, you'd get cold. But the wool seems to dry pretty quick against a heated body. I noticed that if I'm wearing a wool tank top or whatever that's wet from sweating, if I take it off and try to hang it up to dry it, it won't get dry. But if I keep it on my body, it'll just dry out pretty quick. Depending on how wet it is, of course. Sometimes in the winter though, it's so cold, you might have to just take it off and switch it for another one. Usually though, I don't get to that point and I'm able to just get that sweat to dry out naturally. You can breathe really easily through wool. But when you put a rain overlayer on to block out wind, specifically in snow, that'll trap it. So often in the winter, I'll just, if it's not snowing out, I'll just have a bunch of wool layers, so allow it to breathe. Once you lay down though to go to sleep, your body temperature just, that temperature in your body plummets. You got to break out all the tools, all the layers, the rain over gear. Rain over is probably not a good word because there's more to it than that. It's snow over, it's wind over, it's rain over. The big thing that it really helps you with in spring and fall though is the wind. And of course the rain, but the wind. Well, winter too. Okay, we got a decision point. Alright, so Plateau Rock Trail is this little offshoot, and the Beaver Creek Trail continues over right here. So it says it's 0.1 mile. I ain't scared of stairs, especially if I'm not wearing a ruck, so look at the sun. Let's get to it. Switchbacky, pretty steep. Getting steep here, so it's not good to look off to the side. Might disorient yourself. Yeah, this is like Hole in Rock Trail. It's a lot like it. Well, part of it. You see the other trail down there? Beaver Creek Trail. Well, it's gonna be hard to make out on the footage. A little longer than 0.0 or 0.1 mile. This trail's one way in, one way out, so we will be backtracking. Yeah, this is a crazy one. Let's do a rest pause. I just feel like these rest pauses take forever, but 60 seconds can feel like a couple minutes. And it's good to do a good 60 seconds. It's usually enough to recover. But this is a form of high intensity interval training, or HIIT. Whew. That's pretty crazy. Whew. This might be the most brutal trail I've done in the year so far. I don't think I could have did this with a 65-pound ruck. That would have just been silly. Whew, okay. Whew. Whew. Okay. So we're still on a trail. Okay. And just kind of stops. All right, we're off trail. Okay, so looks like it goes for a little bit more, but we're off trail. So this is probably just people just checking it out. Private land is a dark gray over that area. So, okay. All right, so it's definitely getting dark. We're definitely gonna wrap up this hike. We're gonna start heading back. Now this plateau rock trail, it didn't deliver, so I would not recommend it at all. If you want to do it just to say you did it, great, but I thought there was going to be a view, or like we were going to be on a rock and it'd be like Inspiration Point, but and I'm not trying to knock on it. I'm just saying, I'm just kind of saying, you know, I don't want you to risk a heart attack and then you have a heart attack because there's nothing that you got to. So we're gonna do a quick break though up here on this bench. And higher up here, we're reintroduced to the wind. It's a windy day today, but in Beaver Creek Valley, you're in a little ravine or a valley, so you're kind of isolated. But yeah, we're reintroducing ourselves to the wind up here. I really like that sound on the leaves. All right, so we're gonna have a rest pause here, or actually a literal break. I got the body cam on a boonie hat, which has been working out pretty well for me since I started trying that. Yeah, so I got a chest rig, full tank tactical, and then a Rush 12.0. Rush 12, I believe, 12-hour pack right here with ghillie on it. It's all dolled up. I haven't used this pack in the outdoors yet. I just use it to store some of my radio gear. Put this ghillie on it. Got some supplies in here. Oh, here's my precious Noka. We're gonna polish that off in a sec, but first, gonna have some nuts. Got a power bank in there. Brought water on this trip. I got my hoodie in there, rain over gear, a balaclava. It's getting windy up here, so yeah, just try to have a quick break. Almonds, pistachios, and I've added cashews to my mix as well, which I'm gonna keep doing that. I like that. These are really good packs. The Rush 24 is my go-to. It's a 24-hour one. It's a little bigger than this. That's my go-to when I'm not using a rucksack. It's just one level down from the rucksack. And this I'm kind of adopting as an assault pack, which is like a smaller than a backpack type of pack for like simple day hikes like this. The chest rig just, it wasn't enough because I couldn't have water, and some other gear that would have been kind of essential depending on the scenario. So because it was a little colder out, it might have rained, I brought this. And it's working really, really well. Yeah, Rush 511 12-hour pack. They also have a 72, but I haven't tried those because my rucksack is basically the next size up anyways, and there's no way it'll compete with that. There's absolutely no way. Alright, got my nuts in. Now the Noka, really good flavor, super tropical. These are about $2.25 each, so they're not cheap. They really come through for me though. Now I'm getting chilly. My entire back is pretty much wet because of sweat. But it's drying off, but it's still it's really cold when I touch and press on it. It's soaking wet. So what I'm probably going to do is actually take this wet tank off and put a lightweight merino wool hoodie over it, over my body, or where my tank is. And I'm going to put the tank on the back of the pack here, hook it up to the hooks, let it air out behind me, because I don't want to get really chilled and chilly. Like this right here. We'll take the chest rig off, and that's all wet on the inner front part of it too, and on the shoulders, just soaking wet like usual. It's like my belt made more tears in my tank, so I'm gonna have to repair that just like I repaired it before. That's unfortunate. These are the best belts that I could find, but that's one downside to them. This is a mid-weight wool tank, so it's a little thicker than the one I'd normally wear in the summertime because it's colder out, obviously. Sanitizer put under the armpits to help with body odor. I never wear deodorant, and no one should ever wear deodorant because it's a poison. You put sanitizer in your armpits, or you clean it out with a paper towel and rubbing alcohol. That's all you need to do. and you won't be applying any poison under your armpits. I'm not going to tuck this in. Okay. Alright, so this is good. I'm going to zip this up, make sure everything's zipped up here. Got a backup phone charger, backup keys of the vehicle. Alright, so this tank, to make sure it doesn't fall off, what I'm going to do is use some of these MOLLE attachments. M-O-L-L-E, modular lightweight load carrying equipment attachments to the PALS webbing here on the pack. So I customized this pack pretty good, so it's ready for a few situations like this one. So that is now attached. I gotta make it look nice. So this is attached and it's not going anywhere. Still doesn't look nice. Okay. Might be overthinking it a little. Alright. I'm gonna drape this down there. And I'm still gonna take the ghillie and put it over the top. Ghillie's being silly. That ghillie can be confusing sometimes. The more you play with it, the more familiar you get with it. But I haven't used this ghillie on this pack. This is for my other pack, my 24, which is a bigger pack. But this is working pretty good. Now just hunker it in. You want to make sure there's nothing like it's not folding in on itself. You want more surface area. You don't want to fold it in on itself so it's trapping the moisture. You want it to air out as best as it can. And this ghillie is locked in too with these other hooks down here as well, one on each side. So if it gets caught on a branch or something, it won't go anywhere. It might tear, but that's fine, because if the ghillie tears, it's just an opportunity to put some twine. I forget what it's called now. Yeah, you can just tie it up with other stuff. Ooh. Kind of a nice little spot though to hang out for a sec. I'm gonna take these off. I can do without them. It's kind of, yeah, I can do without them. I'll be all right. There's a Streamlight flashlight. I still have a headlamp on me as well in my pack. I left my water out. Yeah, sun looking pretty cool, man. So the sun's supposed to set in like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So yeah, 30 minutes. Now, I'm a little irritated that my tank got rips in it again, but unfortunately it's common and I know how to sew, so it'll just be more practice. Knowing how to sew is absolutely critical. At least how to repair certain things. Stitching the back stitch, that's a big one. This pack is nothing. It's so nice and little. It's pretty dope. All right, so we're gonna make our way back. Thanks, buddy. This would be a cool backpack area if you could stomach the hike in. All right, so we're gonna go back down this trail. Try to be done with this trail in 5 minutes. Pop out where we came in. Not go too fast because this is a serious trail. I mean, it's not the Rocky Mountains or anything, but it's serious. You gotta take it serious. And once we pop out the trail, we're going to continue on the Beaver Creek trail that we were on, that we were headed down. But then we're going to loop around. Instead of going straight on and continuing deeper, we're going to loop around and go down the other side and head back. I'm just going to try to focus on what I'm doing here now. And this is definitely one of the more serious trails I've done. So I'm tempted to rush because I want to beat the daylight, but that temptation is what'll get you. Stay focused, stay calm. Just continue at a reasonable rate. Toes pointing downward like this is really brutal on the toenails. But I got the right footwear, right size boots. I can wiggle my toes. Got the wool socks, the wool liner, the wool insole. The boots are oversized, so of course I can wiggle my toes like I said. It's definitely getting dimmer. So this was a kind of a short one as far as the hike goes, but it's okay. It's okay. If life allows me, I am without a doubt coming back to this place. This is one of my favorite state parks. I will be back. If feasible, I will tackle the trail. Next time I come back, I kind of wanted to do it in the off season so I could scout the Cardin campground specifically. But I might end up not really caring about doing that too much over time, just because I got a feeling. I did pass by there once on my first hike here in 2023, and I kind of walked by there and they seem real close to each other, but I didn't really get a good look, so I don't know if that was just a couple sites and there's a couple other good ones that are kind of more isolated. And I'm working up a sweat again, obviously. Well, still that wind is cold. My fingers are cold a little, actually. Like tonight, for example, I will need to put on gloves when I when I go to sleep, when I lay down. I brought an extra hoodie too. I'm really looking forward to it. I even brought I brought back my sleeping bag, the patrol bag inside of the bivvy. I was just using a wool blanket for the summer modality inside of the military sleep system or modular sleep system bivvy, because that helps absorb moisture and sweat, where the patrol bag, sleeping bag, you get slimy and wet. But I'm able to bring that back now because it's cooler out, so I can wear more layers, and my clothing, merino wool clothing, will work as a wicking agent, and it'll be between me and the patrol bag, so the patrol bag will not get slimy and wet from sweat. I might not even sweat because it'll be chilly, so it's really not that big of a risk. I'm really hoping them coyotes come out tonight, man. And once we get back to the main road, we're just gonna walk that main road back. It'll probably be relatively dark at that point anyways. It's kind of sad in a way because I can see the days getting shorter, and with work I used to kind of not really look forward to doing hikes that much because I used to force myself to ruck them. But this year is different, where I made a decision to lighten my load, even though I felt guilty at first. And I learned a lot from it. I've grown. Not having to focus on just mulling through every second. It's really helped me focus on other things and enjoy the moment. And this is the first time I did the assault pack style. Which I really like. I think I'm not gonna use this pack as a way to hold my radio gear anymore. I think I'm gonna just keep them empty and keep them in my vehicle. So I got a little empty assault pack, assault bag, assault pack. So on the spur of a moment, if I need it, I can just throw those particular supplies I need in there from my main ruck and go on my hike or do whatever I got to do. You know, something stupid might happen. You might have to walk somewhere for some reason. Okay, so yeah, we're running out of daylight pretty bad. I wish I could go back to camping in daylight, but it's just not on the table, so. So we just got to go up this path a little more, and then we're going to make our way back. And then in the future, we're going to try the whole thing up to the top and back. Yeah, I kind of wish that trail delivered a little bit more, but it's the proverbial nothing burger. Hell, now I know. And if or when I come back here, if life allows me, and I'm walking this same trail, I'll walk past that part right there. I'll remember what it looks like, and I'll remember this moment in time, and I'll just kind of smile and be grateful and cherish it, and everything will come together. Oh, it's a little windy down here. It's gonna be a nice chilly night. It's pretty sticky in July. There's Mark. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know who that is. Oh, that went quicker than I thought. Okay, here it is. Here's the bird. Okay. All right, so that's a gray catbird. Over the last couple of years when I've been hearing that sound, I've been referring to it as the baby. I call it the baby because I always thought it was like a baby bird demanding its mother bring it worms. But it's literally a gray catbird because it sounds like a cat. I can't say I've ever seen them, but I hear those things all the time, and they always make me smile. I'm a little sad though, that knowing that they're not literally a little tiny cute baby demanding very angrily that its mother bring it worms or else. But maybe it is a baby catbird, I don't know. Mystery solved, thanks to Merlin Bird ID. Thanks, Cornell Labs. So this is Beaver Creek East. So tonight for dinner, I have a Backpacker's Pantry brand freeze-dried meal. It's one that used to be one of my go-tos, but I haven't had it in a long time because I can't get enough of the Mountain House creamy macaroni and cheese. and their pasta primavera as well, which is a fairly close second. But today it's going to be the old school favorite. It's Hatch green chili mac and cheese, I believe. It's essentially their mac and cheese with some kind of Hatch green chili in it. And I remember enjoying those. The creamy macaroni and cheese by Mountain House is probably literally the best macaroni and cheese I've ever had in my life, anywhere. And I cannot even believe that that's true. So it won't be in the same race as that, but based on what I remember, it's still delicious. I'm really looking forward to it. I got some junior mints. Also got some sour Mike and Ike's. I don't think they're Mike and Ike's per se, but they're the sour type of those. Oh, it's a new one. That one's flowing pretty good. I also got a dessert freeze-dried food from Peak. It's some kind of peach cobbler. I'm not too optimistic about it, and usually I don't just eat dessert, but if I get hungry enough after the mac and cheese, I might give that a go. But it's kind of a big meal by itself. Yeah, this Beaver Creek Trail is awesome. I bet you the password is way down in the end. I don't care. I don't worry about that, but it's just, I don't know, it's just a fun little interesting tidbit. Like, oh, there's the password. Oh. Just make things a little more interesting. But if I focused on getting the password at every park, like I'm too OCD, I'd get too passionate about it, and it would just ruin everything else because that's all I would care about, and I'd have to get it. And so I already told myself a while ago that we're just not going to worry about that. That was a squirrel. Oh, as it gets darker, things are getting harder to see. But I have 3 more trips in September planned. It's weird because there's 4 of them total. The first one is this one in the southeast part of the state. Then the second one is in the northeast part of the state. which is Cascade River State Park on the North Shore. And then the third one is back down in this area, within like 30 miles of here, 50 miles. Forestville Mystery Cave State Park. And then the final one, the last week of September, is back on the North Shore. I'm pretty sure my mind is not tricking me. If I remember right, it's going to be the Temperance River State Park. So with the two in the southeast, this one in Forestville, I do not have any scouts planned. Just hikes, but I might run out of daylight for the Forestville one. But in the North Shore, I plan on scouting the campground at Judge C.R. Magny State Park, which is the furthest northeast state park that you can camp in Minnesota as of right now. And I also plan on scouting some state forest campgrounds there. I believe they're the Pat Bale State Forest campgrounds. There might be two of them, but I can't recall off the top of my head. But they're by Judge C.R. Magny. And then with a Temperance one, I'm gonna go out of my way a little, but go to Cloquet Valley State Forest. I believe it's the Indian Lake Campground, which completely dodged a massive wildfire bullet in May of 2025 this year. There was a fire that broke out within just a few miles from that campground, and it turned into a really big deal. Just fire all around, but I believe they called in the National Guard, and it was just a big deal. But that campground was magically saved. There was like a bubble around it protecting it. Alright, so now we're back to where we started. We're cutting the hike short due to daylight. And I'm just gonna backtrack. So I like getting inside of each campsite and looking all around it, try to get all the angles, try to show you what you would see depending on where you were standing and where you were looking. Essentially get hundreds of pictures of every campsite through video. So it might be shaky footage and stuff, but you still get hundreds of pictures, quite literally. Well, sometimes the sites are occupied and I can't go in, so I try to profile past them without being a creep. Usually people leave me alone. There's a couple times though. I had one this year at the Ash River campground at Cabeto Gamma State Forest, where they kind of questioned me, asked what I was doing, and so I told them. Yeah, it was no big deal. You just can't be weird about it, you know? Which is really hard because I make things weird for other people. Which is kind of paranoia though, because sometimes when I'm editing the footage, I'll remember a moment as being awkward and weird, but then I watch it from another perspective and there was nothing weird about it at all. It was all in my head. So I'm learning about that as well for myself. Whew. Oh, and I'm actually moving too, thankfully. After about 14 years, I'm moving. So, kind of pumped about that. You never know what'll happen, but It's looking pretty promising. I'm hoping to exchange at least 10 horrible things that I hate about where I live for maybe 2 or 3 other things. So just completely eliminating at least 7 things that bother the living piss out of me when I'm at home. And all of it can be traced to other people, as the source. Whether it be airplanes or cars or door slamming. I like how that kid was all pumped up about the water. Yeah, he was pretty excited, but I can tell you that even 40 years later, you'd be able to look at it and feel a similar way. That's pretty cool. You know, that kid might even come back here about the same age of his life that I am now, around a similar time. You know, life is just kind of magical like that sometimes. Oh, this one. Yep. That's on the docket. Switchback trail. We don't have daylight, but we got a reason to come back. We have motivation for the future. We have optimism for the future. That's one gift we got today from this park. Motivation and optimism for the future. This is so awesome, this building here. It's got a really good vibe to it, really cool lighting. It smells cool in there. It's in a cool little private area. Oh. So I'll just try to take it easy with my mouth on the way back. Thanks for listening. Thanks for taking a look. Again, I do want to come back here. This was shorter than I hoped, but it's okay. It's okay. Probably going to do a mini scout of my campsite that I'm at tonight. Probably do it tomorrow when the sun's out and the lighting's good. And I also got a scout of the site 27 in. And those are 2 of the top sites here as far as seclusion and privacy. Yeah, 33 is a good one. I stayed there on Halloween last year. That's right by the vault toilet. And I swear I saw a baby ghost goat. A baby goat ghost. It's a good trail. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. This lady drove, when I was camping at Site 33 on Halloween, this lady drove by with her 2 little dogs, and they were kind of crazy and they're barking, and she drove past once and then she drove back to exit. The dogs were just acting belligerent every time. And then a little bit later, several minutes later, I think it was several minutes, I thought I saw one of the little dogs on the other side of the road, and I think I can show you that spot on the way back. And I looked at it, I swore I saw a little dog, and I was like, oh, one of the dogs is over there. And I just kind of watched it to keep my eye on it, and then it kind of looked more like a baby goat, and I'm like, why is there a baby goat here? I remember thinking that. Well, sometimes they have goats in state parks to help with the nature stuff, I don't know, but they do something. But then yeah, and then I kind of watched it just slowly like dissolve away, and it just like slowly became the leaves. So I thought it was little dog, then it slowly became a baby goat, and then it just turned into the leaves of the trees. And all of that was probably just pareidolia. But I don't know, man. And I really don't believe in ghosts. I should have seen them by now. Well, yeah, we're headed down here now, down to campground. We should have enough daylight. We're gonna walk past it. I'll show you the spot. It's right across from Site 33, right by the vault toilet I'm gonna have to use tonight. So I'm gonna have to walk past that spot. But if you're scared of a baby goat, I mean, even if it's a ghost, you gotta buck up, man. You gotta kick up your game. That's a really cool state park, man. You're just in this little valley. It's kind of like a miniature version of Whitewater State Park. And it's right by Whitewater too. But there's not as many people here as Whitewater would have generally. Well, speak of the devil. And when I first came here in June of 2023, and I did a quick scout of the campground from my vehicle, just kind of drove by and just put the body cam at the different sites. When I was all done with the scout, so I had a lunch over here. I had a lunch right in here. Creamy macaroni and cheese. Mountain House. It was probably this table. But at that point in time, this was one of the furthest state parks I'd ever traveled to, and it was a big deal for me. It was a big moment. Then the next week I got fired. Well, essentially, I got paid $25,000 to not go to a place that was tormenting me every day. So, I guess being fired is kind of a harsh way to put that. I like to say I hit the lottery. And it didn't have to be a bad place, but like most situations in life, it's the other people, the laziness, the complacency, the sluggishness, the selfishness that just really ruins it, pulls everything else down. And back to nature. I really like all the like there's stuff growing in there. It's cool. I know it's a stupid way to put it, but it's cool. Okay, so we're now walking through the main campground. Big Spring Trail. This is the other part of it. You know what? Let's finish it off. Let's go back on this side. As we cut this out early to cut over, you can still see something. This trail had delivered right away, right when I walked into it. It's interesting. That hike that I had planned it probably would have took 4 to 5 hours. Now we haven't even walked 4 miles yet. Last week at Savannah Portage State Park, I walked a total like 15 miles the whole day. Not just at the park, but for the whole day. It was over 30,000 steps. It's kind of hard to believe. It's a really tall one right here. 15.9 miles. August 29, 2025. I got a lot of editing to do, but that Savannah Portage hike is about 6 videos away from where I'm at now in the queue and editing. But that was maybe 9 miles of this was at that park. The rest was at work. So this trail is literally probably the easiest trail maybe in the whole world, and it delivers. Nice creek. And it's right by the campground. So if you're camping here, specifically in the electric campground part right here, and you don't hike this trail, that would take you maybe 10 minutes. You're kind of pushing it. You should really just do it. You know, it's going to be darker by the time we get there, but this was about the time of day that I saw that baby goat ghost. And there are people that are going to be camping at Site 33 tonight, allegedly. So, all right, we completed this trail officially. So we bailed before. You know, I'm sweating into this hoodie, but it should dry off after like an hour. Just kind of standing around, working around the camp. But I got another one, the same kind, different color, in my dry bag, in my ruck. I still brought the ruck, just in the vehicle. Oh. Really cool spot right here. There's a deer. All right, back on the main road here for the campground. It's the main road for the park in general, really. Kind of goes from one end and then back. One road in, one road out. So I did a video called Creepy Walk to the Loo, and that was when I first camped here. It was just me going from my campsite to the vault toilet at night. It was really creepy. And this is the area. This is where we're gonna walk right by it. Same area where I saw that baby goat ghost. Same area where the coyotes went absolutely ballistic. And it should be a full moon tonight too, I think, really close to it. Scouted this earlier, 27. It's a good one. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to try to do that one day. Might be next. I just like going deeper into the park. I like going past this first water crossing here, at least. But I kind of want to do like a cart-in one in an off-season where like no one's here, and this will be really creepy and lonely. This is one of my favorite spots in all the state parks, right here. I just love this spot right here. There's a few more sites here. And the last one to our left will be 33 and that vault toilet. And then we'll have another water crossing. It's getting really hard to see stuff, I know. A little bit of light on the situation here. Nothing serious. The infrared functionality does not really work on these body cams, unfortunately. It's a joke. These ones are real close to each other, and there's not a lot of space. It's kind of cool, but you're just so close to the road. But for me personally, the biggest threat is having neighbors. It's the biggest threat. I learned the hard way on that. I guess both being a horrible neighbor and suffering from them. And Dutch door. Alright, looks like site 33 is occupied. So site 33 right up here is where I stayed Halloween last year. So this was the area we were planning on coming out of for today's hike. We're gonna go all the way around the park and come out here. Now we got something to look forward to. And here's the vault toilet up here. We'll probably be using this vault toilet tonight, even though it's a little awkward. But the other ones on the end of the park are just a little further away, and there's more people over there. So this one is a more practical one. This is a pretty good site right here, 33. right there. So right here, this is where I saw the baby goat ghost, right here. It was crazy, man. Baby goat ghost of Halloween. Here's the second water crossing. No, it's not super watery. At least not right now. It fluctuates. And here's the first campsite I stayed at this state park. And I would recommend this campsite. It's a great one. 34. It's even not occupied right now, so I'm gonna show you. Oh, it's good to be back here. How you doing, buddy? Wow. That's where my tent was, where I heard the coyotes. But back here, the tree might be gone. I think it might be this one. It might be this one. I remember it being here, but it could be this one. I remember it being in the middle though of my brain, so it might be gone, but it could have been this one. Either way, I'll show you a picture of what that cool creature looked like and what it's called. I saw that little guy right here on a tree right here. Still my favorite creature I've ever saw. He was on my trail cam. This site is so awesome. You're just kind of back here. You got a profile of people driving by. Awesome site. .35, nice and quaint. Just a little mini scout here at the end. This is a short hike, so this would be a decent one to do. Nice open sky, so the moon will be able to see it tonight if it's not cloudy. When I was here in 2023, the moon was right up here. It was extraordinarily bright. And we have the entrance to the trail where we started our hike today. West Rim Trail. And then site 36. This is another one I kind of been wanting to do. I almost did this one. And this is a cool one. And 37 is just, it's a little bit of a distance, but it's just over there. We'll go down there. I'll take you there right now. Yeah, so 37 right here. We just came from right over there. Parking for it's right here. So you're right by it. creek's a little light tonight, unfortunately. This was pretty lively in 2023. It fluctuates. There's way more sites down there. But yeah, this is where I'm gonna camp tonight. I'll probably do a quick scout of this tomorrow in the daylight. Really, this is an awesome site. This is awesome, yeah. Nice courtesy distance from 36. Nice low fire pit. Nice spot for a trail camp. Might be able to see the moon up there tonight. I might even work this footage in with the other scout for the daytime, so you can kind of see what it looks like in the night a little here. So yeah, that's the hike. Thanks for taking a look. Take care. I hear the coyotes in the distance. And they're crazy. I hear the obnoxious kid down there. That's not good. I heard, yeah, the first time I was here, August of 2023, I remember I heard the coyotes because they were reacting to some ferocious barking off in the distance. Ferocious. And they're like wigging out over here, this far away. They're wigging out, but the barking I heard was crazy, ferocious. Like roar, 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 and it was so far away. But yeah, hopefully those kids will shut their mouths early. Hopefully their mom will shut them up, and I'll just hear a lot of coyote sounds. We'll see. Yeah, just working on the repair now. Got some stop darn, some wool, thread, essentially. Needles. Already got it going here a little bit. Repaired one of them. You know, just working on finishing up this last one here. Using essentially a backstitch technique, making sure I'm not too tight with it so it doesn't pucker up. We're not going for perfection, but I want it to be pretty decent. This type of fabric, this merino wool, is pretty delicate. I'm using a thin needle. Shouldn't pucker. I want to prevent this tear from tearing more. And I do have other repairs on this exact same tank. It's probably because it's one of my favorite tanks that it keeps happening to it. As you can see here is another repair from before. The culprit is this military belt buckle. These canvas belts are the only ones I could find that are practical for me. But these buckles are pretty vicious. So I gotta figure out a way to make them less vicious. And there we go. So there's the finished product there. Not too bad. There's a previous repair right there. And another one from before. So it's one of my favorite tanks. It's army green midweight merino wool. And so able to repair it. So I definitely enhance my skills today, sewing. So we turn this negative into a positive, and we're ready to tackle our next negative as a result of overcoming this negative.